Video I'll explain my code that I made in Python using machine learning, and the name of this project is Boston House Price Prediction. So I'll discuss my whole code with everything explained. So let's get started. As you can see here, these are the libraries that I used in my project, namely NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, sklearn, and IPython.display. I'll explain their uses as we encounter. So here you can see the steps involved in machine learning techniques. I mentioned it in Markdown cell. The very first step is data pre-processing. Second is defining the error. Third is splitting the dataset into two parts, namely training dataset and testing dataset. Fourth step is to train our model, and last step is to predict our values. So for the first step, firstly we will load our dataset, that is in this case Boston, and this is the output. As you can see here, these are the attributes that are present in the dataset, and we can read about that what each attribute states. This will come handy later on. Alright, so now we will create a data frame using pandas library, and we will name it as features. You can see here, this is the data frame. This data set has 506 rows. That means 506 different values for each attribute. And if you want to view a particular attribute, you can use the syntax features bracket age. It will show you values of this age attribute only. And then we will create a target data set from Boston, only from Boston.target. We'll store it in a variable called target, and this is used to display the maximum value of target, minimum value, and here we will concatenate our target data set and our features data set. You can see this is the features data set, and these are the target values concatenated in that. And we will describe this data set here. We will round up the values of the two decimal places. As you can see here, there are two decimal places in every value. And this is a important step. Here we will calculate the correlation of every value with our target value, and we will also print a graph using matplotlib library. Let's run this one. You can see here, this is our correlation graph, and you can see from this graph that LSTAT has the highest correlation value. That means the price of the houses depend on this value the most, and on this value the most, so we will work with this value. We will use this value to calculate our predicted outputs. But first we have to normalize our data. I'll show you how we do it. For example, we have stored a data frame of target values in Y and LSTAT in X. Before normalization, the values of target attribute are these initial 5 values, and once we normalize it using sklearn functions, min, max, scalar, and then after normalization, these are the value that we get. And now this was all about the first step, that was data pre-processing. Now we'll come to second step, that is defining our error. So for linear regression, the error that we use is mean square error, and this right here is the equation for mean square error. This is nothing but equation of line y is equals to mx plus c, my subtracted from target variable, raised to the exponent 2, and here this will return our mean square error. Now third step is splitting our dataset into two parts, training and testing, and this is how we do. This is the syntax train test split, and 0.2 means 20% of the data is randomly sampled as our testing data. We will take normally we'll take 15 to 20% of our entire dataset as testing data. Now we will declare an update function which is used to update the values of m and c. This is our gradient descent function. this is an optimization function in linear regression. And if you want to know about the meaning of these variables, you can refer to these markdown cells. I have mentioned everything here. And now we will call our gradient descent method with all the arguments, and we will declare these arguments here. And one important thing here is this time function, this double percentage before the time function. This is magic. These are magic functions in Python. If you are working with Jupyter Notebook, they come in very handy. You should know about these magic functions. This function displays the time, CPU time it took to calculate it. Alright, so now we will plot our linear regression curve on the training data set, and this function here HTML is used to create this animation. As you can see that this line adjusts itself as per the data. This is working on our testing data, as you can see. All right, this is a linear regression curve on our testing data, and this is a linear regression line on our training data set. As you know that 20% of the part is testing, so that's why there are less number of points than this one, because this includes complete 506 points. Now let's plot our error values that we calculated using mean square error. And here you can see that as the number of iteration increases, our error decreases, but after a certain number of iteration, the value of the error doesn't decrease dramatically. It almost remains the same. So that's why we don't take a very high value of iterations. For this example, we took 250, which is fine. And now the last step, that is prediction. We'll predict our values, and this is an important point. In NumPy, in Python, we have vectorized operations, so that's why we don't need for loops. This is automatically iterate over every value of m and c. And now we computed our mean square error. And remember one thing, our mean square error is 0.018, and this is when we chose LSAT as a value to compare LSAT. You can see here, this comes, the mean square error with LSAT values is 0.018. And now we'll create a data frame of target and predicted values. But as we want to see the prices of the house, so you have to revert the normalization that we did earlier on, so that output can be understandable. So let's do that. This is a plot of the predicting values against the target values. And now let's revert normalization and create a data frame. This is a final data frame. This has the target values and predicted values. So we are done with this code, but for the sake of experimentation, let me show you one more thing. If here we change LSTAT to DIS, now DIS has relatively lower correlation, so we will see the effect of this change on our mean square error. Just run all cells below, and this is a mean square error. You can see earlier one was 0.018, but now it is 0.03, so it is pretty high. That's why we don't use this. We will use LSAT, and you can see that the difference in target value and predicted value is too high also in this case also. So we will not use this. We will go with LSTAT only. So that was it. Thank you.